Yeah. But how you been, man? How have your games been?
Good. Yeah, so I started playing with the Tank Busters battle group for DAC and was like loving that, and then just got back into some Brits. And so the replays I sent you were Brits, and I mean I got to be honest. I think that at least for the way I play, Brits is like easy mode compared to DAC. Like I shot up to 1350 or something ELO with a 60 something% win rate with Brits, whereas like Dak it was absolute struggle bus.
Um,
To even yeah.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much. I think we talked about this when we did your DAC session. It was like I think I said to you that like DAC is just it's just harder to pilot in general than UK, and it like if you're good if you're good at DAC, you can be good at any faction basically.
Well, that's good. You got to pay your dues with Dak.
Mm-hmm. Are you in the Are you in
Uh,
the live stream
is
on
it?
Discord?
Let me see. Watch stream. Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. There we go.
So what did you anything like before we get into this, was there anything specific that you wanted to focus on today?
So I think this is the shorter of um, the two replays I sent you. They're both against Wehrmacht, and I was thinking like it's dealing with MGs as Brits,
Mm,
and then like late game, converting mid game to late game
hmm.
advantage, I would say.
Right. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've had a lot of people that play UK asking me about dealing with machine guns, so you're not alone. Know that.
Oh, so what I've been trying to do is play Canadians and get a lot of munis because I've been using the Arty barrage, the on base howitzer, and then uh, grenades to flush MGs,
Hmm.
rifle grenades,
Okay.
and been kind of muni starved when I've played my basic, feel heavy approach.
Um, so I'll tell you. I bet you we can solve your issue very quickly. So you just told me that you're muni starved a lot of the time, right?
I
Based on your
think I see
battle
where
group,
this
you
is
know where
going.
I'm going with this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I, especially against machine gun spammers, I have been playing a lot more
Huh,
offensive resupply recently
huh. Love it.
because the sauce of this dude is like, so every time you decapture, not only can you use the recce artillery for free, you can also use grenades. And in some cases, you can actually use them twice before the cooldown is gone. It's crazy. Like, I think the grenade cooldown is like 35 seconds or maybe it's 30 seconds. I don't know. But like, all I know is I've fired 2 free rifle grenades before using offensive
Uh-huh.
resupply, which is ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
they patch it because it's insanely busted. But like, this is it because attacking spirit, while certainly helpful against like in a 1v1 situation where you're continuously trying to build momentum by capturing territory and then taking small engagements and healing the chip damage, all that stuff is good. But if I know this guy, and I do know this guy, he's always loved to play machine guns. So he must be just on cloud nine this patch. Like,
Oh.
when I play this guy, dude, he builds like 5 or 6 machine guns like every time. That's his thing. So I'm sure there's more of them too, but like that is the sauce against these guys. Is dude the free between and Canadians is like my go-to against a machine gun spammer because between incendiary munitions and offensive resupply, there's no safe place for the machine guns. They're always in trouble of threatening the wipe between the rifle grenades and the recce artillery.
Uh, so the Recce artillery definitely is free after the
Yeah,
attacking spirit.
Yeah. After
Nice.
offensive resupply. Yes.
A resupply.
Yeah. Yeah. The artillery dude and grenades. Like you can fire a rifle grenade. You can throw a snare. You can use recce artillery. All in the same squad, and it all comes from offensive resupply. It's all free. It's crazy. Okay, dingo. Oh, we're just eating it. Okay. Okay, let's see what we do here. Uh-oh.
I was kind of surprised that he never changed. That he never changed his
facing?
focus of that. Yeah.
So if you think about it, it actually makes sense because he knows he's got a second machine gun coming to protect the flank. By keeping the machine gun facing this way, he's actually setting himself up to get you on your retreat path, right? And actually, you were incredibly lucky that you didn't lose this. I actually can't believe you didn't lose this.
I knew that guy was going to make it.
Calculated.
I liked it. He was my best guy. Yeah, see, I can't remember if this was even like a good replay, but I just played his DAC, I think, and beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Uh-oh.
Getting kind of sloppy, yeah.
It's kind of nice that we could just go through that. That's very, very cool.
Well, I remember at the time thinking, like, that was a retarded pass, excuse me, but yeah, stupid passing mistake to begin with, but I guess I was lucky that there was that hole there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All victory points are under enemy control.
Oh, that's unlucky.
The beggars are threatening a munitions.
I think here, bit of a missed opportunity to pop your medical supplies for your sapper and actually for this section that was coming out of base.
Yeah.
Because that's going to get you topped up and give you some more momentum going into your next round of engagements. Why did we build the dingo third? Because you went 2 sappers, then you went section, and then you went dingo.
Just to, I think to get that territory point cap sooner, just to start capping and connecting things sooner.
I got it.
And yeah, so what do you tend to do? Get the dingo in the fight sooner, or
yeah, dingo.
Yeah.
So I would probably do, if I'm gonna build dingo. Honestly, I'm thinking on this map. So for my capture order, I'm probably actually gonna do here, and then around here, and then dingo comes up the middle, and then your second sapper does this side like he did before. It's a little bit of a longer path between these 2 points, but the sooner you get your dingo on the field, the sooner you can interrupt him with the machine guns, right? Because
yeah, totally.
If the dingo comes out right away, you can actually beeline it down this road to make sure that he doesn't make it to this building without taking a whole bunch of chip damage, right?
Yeah.
Because the dingo unfortunately just comes out. Look at the unit difference between. Now you're actually queuing up to get another unit here, but he's got 7 units. Now he did go triple Pio, so that's going to contribute to some of it. But the dingo just comes out so late that there's so many other units that it's going to have to worry about. Getting it out early and finding a nice 1v1 for it to engage on is always the best thing you can do. Even in this situation, we should get in this guy's face. There we go. Yeah, that was good.
I don't don't know what time of night
we
this
missed
was.
we missed the
Oh,
connect
goodness.
there, but that's okay. Should be getting our tier 2 pretty soon. There we go. We got to it eventually. That's a nice recon barrage. Oh, that could have been a juicy hit. Oh, it may not feel like it, but you're actually winning right now if you look at the fuel disparity. We just need to stop the VP bleed. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. I like that you saw the opportunity to move from this building because he was focused on this squad. That was good.
Yeah, I saw you cover that with somebody in detail about in advance. I think it was also on Longress. But yeah,
Yeah.
I can't say that I thought of that in the moment, but maybe it's just deep buried in now that I.
It all
yeah,
just
like
gets
which way
programmed
to-
in eventually. It's not
Yeah.
even conscious anymore. It just happens subconsciously. Where are we mining? Where was that? Was that right here?
Canadian shock infantry are in reserve.
That's weird.
Uh,
But I heard you plant a mine.
I don't have audio on from the game playing for me. Let me see.
We're losing a victory point to enemy action.
Nice. Good.
We've lost a sector.
Good. Good recon barrage. So, have I still got you? You still here?
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you've dropped this, because this machine gun is facing the other direction, you should be going to intercept and get on top of them. Because if you're lucky, you'll get like 1 or 2 really good hits from the recon barrage that'll chunk this thing down to like 20% HP, and you can actually finish it off and steal it. And then you're cooking, right? Because he's got nothing to push into a machine gun with. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Oh, nice. Killed the mine. Oh my god, you got it anyway. Nice. Perfect. All planned.
Yeah.
Now, I did want to say, actually, so I think you retreated here a little bit prematurely. Because you weren't actually in any danger here. If you see, like, this is all he's got left over there, right? Meanwhile, your sapper that's carrying the sweeper, you've got like mines you can pick up, you can decapture this victory point, and you're fine. Like, you've got 2 sections here, right? If he shows up with a scout car, yeah, get the hell out of there. But I think people kind of just default to this when they steal a weapon and sometimes miss an opportunity to like make more of the win than they've already got. So I think, like, just ask yourself, like, is there anything actually threatening me right now? And if not, like, what else can I be doing? And you had, at the very least, you could have picked up these mines with your sweeper. That would have probably saved you some hurt that you're going to experience later.
Yeah, that's... Now that I'm looking at that, it makes a ton of sense.
Repeat. Sect. The beggars are threatening.
Yeah, one thing I struggle with is... you know, keeping accounting of what exactly my opponent has. You know, how many units. Like when you say he had 7 units, that kind of shocked me seeing that in the replay, because I basically just assumed we have a couple line units each. He has a machine gun. But that awareness would definitely help.
So what happened here?
Uh,
You knew what he was
I
doing,
think
right? You knew he was capturing
waiting
this,
till capping. Yeah, I
right?
should have
So what should you have been doing?
inching a little bit closer to him. I think to be able to get him on retreat.
Yeah, you nailed that. You know for like this the steel massive balls this guy would have to stick around and even consider trying to Faust you after capturing
Uh-huh.
this point is like unfathomable. Like I think I could count on one hand how many players would actually even bother trying to do that. But you know what he's doing, like you're reading him, right? So you like start like you said, start building the acceleration so that when he hightails it, you're actually already on his retreat path and you can clean this up. And now I don't know if you do. No, we don't. And that's a bit of a missed opportunity there. When you can
Totally.
see that your opponent is like they're deliberately doing something, they're taking an unnecessary. This is unnecessary risk for him, right? It's a VP. Like he's already got one. Yeah, he's okay. He's gonna lose it, so maybe he's slowing down the bleed. But like you know what he's doing, and by anticipating that he's going to retreat, you're giving yourself an opportunity to punish him for doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
A sector is in enemy control.
Woo! So this is another one, right? What did he just do?
Fausted that thing?
Yeah, he just Fausted this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What
yeah,
does that
yeah,
mean?
yeah. He'll have a cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go bully him with
Totally.
this, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, go get in his face with this thing when you see him do that. Because he's already played his card. He's got to wait until he can play it again. This machine gun's going to be nice. Oof. Yeah, good retreat. I was going to say, don't even bother. Take a volley like that from the 20 mil, I just get out of there. Ooh, there it is, right? There's the cascade. Okay, let's see if we can salve. I think you'll be okay. You got a sapper nearby.
I think.
Oh my god. Oh, it's all falling apart. At least he didn't hit it with the Hummer. That would have been devastating.
Yeah.
I think I might have slash L'd.
Victory point.
If I ran into a mine backing up to my sapper that has a sweeper, I'd be like, alright, I'm done. Yeah, man. So I'm telling you now, this game, you're completely roasting. Like this is good, right? But like we can build base heals. We can deal with the nonsense of the camo MGs. Having access to the rifle grenade with the incendiary burn, you can decrew one of these in like one shot if he doesn't move. And being able to threaten that continuously on your opponent's team weapons, especially when they're playing Vermok like this, is it makes your opponent play differently and more conservatively in a way that gives you a lot more space to do what you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the things I've been noticing is that I've failed to assign those command points. Like I could have the grenades I've been shooting, if I have been shooting any, could have been burning them.
I don't even know if you have grenades yet. No, we don't have grenades yet. Grenades a good idea after after your first vehicle, especially if you're gone for incendiary grenades.
Yeah.
Well, what are we afraid of here?
The
Faust?
the Faust and the
Okay, yeah.
Faust, get out of there.
To enemy action.
The flak's not an issue though, right? What do we do to the flak?
You can smoke it, but I found that whenever I try to smoke, that Humber just sits there for a long time.
Yeah, it's because it's weird in that it has to rotate the turret towards the where it's firing the smoke, even though the smoke launcher is not actually on the turret, which is kind of hilarious. I don't know, it's a bug. Hopefully Relic fixes it at some point. But yeah, dude, you smoke the 20 millimeter, it becomes like insanely micro intensive for him to try to actually use it, and it's virtually impossible for him to hit infantry, and that allows you to just collapse on top of it completely. Unless you have run into the machine gun, but we kind of know where the machine gun is. It's over here.
The enemy has our victory points now.
Yeah, using this and then mark area and then a nice big push from your infantry on top of that 20 millimeter. I mean, if you can steal that away, he's pretty much cooked. He doesn't even have a soft counter to your Humber anymore. But I think I can see where this is going. That was a great flare.
Proximity alarm. Our territory is under attack.
Okay.
Commander, enemy forces hold all victory points.
So here I'm just like floating a lot. What kind of unit would you suggest, or teching, or?
What he's playing tier 2, so what do we know he's gonna have eventually?
Expecting a Werble at some point, and then I'm also. I mean, I haven't seen him build any Jaegers yet, but that I find that kind of unusual. But I expect a Werble soon, and so I think in the game I get an AT gun eventually, because right when I'm sitting on 123 fuel, I'll soon be able to buy that tech structure, but very often I start getting fuel starved because I'm kind of losing map presence now, kind of losing steam, and so I think I go with AT gun or guns.
Yeah. Yeah. AT gun's a good call here. But knowing what's coming, the pressure is on a little bit for us to build our advantage, because if we let his tier 2.5 get rolling too hard, then it becomes a big problem for us, right? So for you, what are his priority units? Like, what are the most important units in his roster right now?
The flak and the car.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, exactly. So based on the tools that we have, like, what is the best way for us to try to deal with those?
So I think the car, the flak is more of an issue to me, but I think it's grenades and a flare, grenades, and base hardy is
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it.
good too.
Yeah.
And I think
Go ahead.
just like what I'm often doing is sending units kind of one by one and not like waiting and setting up an advance, like a coherent push, you know? So I shot that flare off, and then I retreated that guy. Now it's on cooldown and he's in the base, and I'm sort of like inching things up. Whereas like I think a more prepared attack would have been much better. Just retreat that guy without shooting the flare. I see things anyways because I'm retreating. Then just kind of inch things up, not get suppressed, and then do a coordinated push.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, like, ask yourself, like, under what circumstance is a unit most susceptible to being killed?
When is a unit most susceptible to being killed?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Being focused, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, when it's being
Surrounded,
focused,
double
which
teamed.
would mean that he is probably alone or close to being alone, right? That's why we get a little antsy when we see our units on the outskirts of the map with no health or, you know, not being full health. Even in the late game, it's just dangerous to have a unit by itself on the edge, right? Because if our opponent can commit all in to trying to kill it and cause us some problems in doing so. Your retreat here wasn't that bad, but you are correct in saying, again, like, it may have been a little bit overkill for us to retreat here because we're not actually in any danger, right? You fired the flare and then you pulled back, probably just like you were thinking, I just got to get this guy topped up before I try to do something crazy with it, right?
Yeah.
Which is fair, but like thinking about his composition, thinking about yours, what you've got on the field, there's a great opportunity for you to use pretty much all of your units to try to set up a killing blow on one of these two priority units, right? And you know the flak is here because you just spotted it with the flare, right? So coming in here with your, like, let's put it this way, right? If you come in here with your recce, which, by the way, you don't even just have to use the recce because you also have this, not that, this, right? Coming in here, dropping the base artillery on the 20 millimeter, what is he going to do?
Back it up.
He's going to back up, right? As soon as you drop the base artillery, he's going to pack up, which means that is your opportunity to close in and kill him, right? So what I would be thinking about when you're setting up this play here, you launch the recon flare, look for the opportunity, like look at what's around, right? What does he have around here?
Just us?
Yeah. He's got his two most important units alone in the middle of the map, right? So as soon as he packs this up, it means the only thing that he has to deal damage is this, right?
Right.
And that means like you can chase him down with your Humber. You can drop the mark target, mark area ability. You can drop smoke so that he doesn't set the flak up. You're not under threat from this thing at all against your Humber. This is the only thing that can threaten it. And the Grenadiers, and you know where the Grenadiers are. You're engaging one of them here, and you can see the other one is capturing over here, right?
Right.
But you also know that they're not there because you just put a recon flare up, right?
Yeah.
So to me, this is a massive all-in green flag. He's got his two most important units completely isolated, and I've got my Canadians, I've got my Dingo, I've got my Humber here. My machine gun is set up to cover the advance. Yeah, you know, I retreated this recce section maybe a little bit prematurely, but I've got more than enough to make a move on what he's got. Right?
Yeah.
And that
that awareness definitely didn't have it in the moment, but it seems very clear now.
Yeah, recognizing that opportunity to be like, oh, he's got no Grenadiers around it, which means I can dive him with my Humber. Like that logic, a lot of that just comes from experience, right? Oh, he's actually got a mine, which is great that you've got your sweeper out here. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, cancel the grenade. Good.
Yeah, so I got two people just sitting there. You know, the Canadians are running.
Yeah.
Getting.
5 command points available. Acknowledge. We've lost contact with our sappers.
The Dingo's howitzer, that's on a shared cooldown with the
It is.
recce, right?
It's a shared cooldown, yes. Yeah, and the other thing here, like you're pursuing with your Canadians, you didn't already use the recce barrage, but if you see him start to set up, that's when you trigger this, because now he has to factor in the setup and the pack up time before he can start moving again, right?
Right.
And that's your opportunity to get the killing blow there. Your Humber, I mean, basically what happened here, as far as I can tell, is you spotted the Grenadier, you had to pull away because you didn't want to get Fausted, and then we were kind of AFK up here, right? Getting in the face of his most important units is how you want to be using the Humber. You see where his Grenadiers? Just fucking leave him there. Just come down here, you know? Like, you don't have to... He can't chase you. He's not going to run into your sapper, right? He actually ended up standing in the yellow cover and killing the sapper that was here. But if he tried to cut across and chase you, he's gonna get roasted by the sapper, right? So get in his face with your Humber is your best playmaking unit because you have the smoke, you have mark area, and it's got great DPS. So you want to make sure that you're super engaged with your Humber in the plays that you make like this.
Mm-hmm. Random question about the sapper with Minesweeper.
Yeah.
If you press A there, you take off the Minesweeper. Do you get higher DPS? Or you better fighting unit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the guy that's holding the sweeper, he gets his Sten gun back out.
Okay.
So you're at 100% DPS as opposed to 75 with these three guys.
Mm-hmm. There's no melee damage from the Minesweeper.
No. That'd be hilarious. That should be a mechanic, just like insta-kill models in Melee.
I actually remember that moment. I was not looking at that.
That happens to the best of us. You attack move something, and then it's like your LOS gets broken, and then you drive into them by accident. Yeah, we don't need this crap, dude. We have free base artillery. But plus you have a hell of munitions right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with the mortar, especially if you're playing Canadians.
Anti-tank crews are on standby for orders.
This is fine. We need to make our way to tier 4 though, for sure. This guy is slow. I don't know what he's doing. He's not got his Werble in production yet. Did he go for tier 2 point? Yeah, he did. He's just slow. Grenade. Nice. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. You see him start to set up, then you drop it on his head. Okay, so what did we do here? You were taking damage, so you backed away, right?
Yeah, I should have backed away only to the little tree there maybe, and then waited for him to. He's going to pack up. He's not going to sit there while that barrages him. So
exactly, yeah.
And nor will the scout car. So I think what I should have done if I had grenades by now, I don't even know if I do, but would be to charge in there and either try to get a grenade off in his retreat path or just anyways push up.
If you decrew it, you can finish it with the 6-pounder, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this point. And this, like, you're playing a game of chicken with this. Because he's decided that he's going to shoot at you, right? And take the artillery shell. Now, he's not now. He's about to pack up. But if you're actually if you just stay here, and better yet, actually close the gap as the artillery's coming in on him, he has to decide, am I going to stay here and just take it and try to DPS the section? Or am I going to retreat? And if I retreat, that means he's not damaging you anymore and you can just continue the pursuit and close on this, right?
Yeah.
So this move makes perfect sense if you didn't drop the artillery on him, right? But the fact that you did, you need to depend on the fact that, like, this is a game of chicken where I know the cliff is 10 meters from my opponent, it's 20 meters from me. So I have a really good chance of winning, right? And that difference is probably the difference between you decrewing this and not. Let's actually see. I want to know if the next shell hits it. Oh, that's the mortar. 25-pounder missed. Okay, it looks like he gets away. Okay. Yeah, so maybe not. Maybe you don't decrew it. But eventually, you make that move enough times, and you'll get lucky on the second shot. It'll take this guy down to 2 models, and then you finish it off with the section, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening here? Oh, I hate this wall.
Yeah.
The enemy has pushed us back from our sector.
Nice grenade. So, these... Oh, yeah, by the way, don't... Yeah, you're really missing out on this now.
Yeah, I know.
These Giga grenades, dude, I actually think it's better to put them not on the door, because if your opponent's decent, and your opponents are at this level, if your opponent's decent, they're going to get out of the other door, right? So what I like to do with these gammon bombs, especially the big guys, I was going to use a different word, the big bombs, like, I like to actually put them in really stupid places, like the middle, like right here, because that way he takes a lot of damage if he gets out of this door, he takes a lot of damage if he gets out of this door, and he takes a lot of damage if he stays inside, especially if I've got the incendiary, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with the bigger grenades, with bigger explosions, you can play a little bit differently. So take that into consideration when you're throwing it at a building. Think about like the entire radius of the grenade, and where can I like maximize my probability of dealing some good damage to him that's not going to be super easy for him to read. Because he's expecting you to throw it at the door, right? Any good co-player is expecting you to throw the grenade at the door, right? And they're just waiting to see which door it is so they can get out of the other one. But then you make the decision incredibly hard for him because it's not really clear as the grenade's coming in where it's going to land. And then by the time it lands, like, he doesn't really know where to go, right? He either gets out into the machine gun or he eats the grenade in one of these doors. So that's just a small thing, but something for you to think about when you're playing with these big grenades.
So on this battle group, if you choose the burnout option instead of the incendiary grenades, and then everybody has to take whatever the second one down is called, what does that do to your grenades? So if you've done burnout and then you choose the pyrotechnics, so your grenades are just normal grenades?
Yeah, your grenades are normal grenades, so they don't benefit from this. It would only be the flamer and the croc. That's why in 1v1s especially, incendiary munitions is so much better. There we go. We're finally going to kill this stupid thing. Easy. There we go. Overextended the flak. No, no.
I know. I was so. Yeah.
It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Listen, I get it. There's something going on down here. Like this happens it happens to me too. You're like, oh, flak 30 is gonna roast my machine gun, right? But you don't take the extra second to be like, wait a minute, is it gonna roast my machine gun? You know?
Yeah, and that the Inchi's not even in danger of being suppressed, even if he was gonna use that.
Yeah.
He could have gotten out of there and charged them. Oh my god.
So we're like wild. I mean, so is this guy. This guy, he's got 2 units in tier 2.5 units in queue. We are incredibly late on our tier 4. We don't need another AT gun right now. What we need is 1 AT gun, because we haven't seen any vehicles from him, right?
Right.
So we only need the 1 AT gun. Every time, my general rule of thumb is build an AT gun for every vehicle you see. And in this case, knowing that he's got one, or, well, you don't know he's got one. He actually doesn't have any. But having the one, going second AT gun before you see a single vehicle, and this this came up a little bit when we looked at your DAC games, right? You had those 2 martyrs, and it was it was like they had no targets to shoot at. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, I'm not gonna forget that. So we're being a little bit too careful here, and we need to get to our tier 4 because tier 4 is where we get the initiative back. Usually this is the stage of the game where Wehrmacht has the opportunity to take the initiative from us because we have strong early game, they have strong mid game, and we have strong late game, right? So we really just have to get there. So which means the sooner you get to your tier 4, the faster you get to your late game and the initiative comes back to you, right? So in this situation, you've got your 6-pounder, which is completely fine. If you see the Werble come out, we upgrade this guy to the Piat, right? Between the Piat and the AT gun, we are completely fine against 1 Werble, That's no threat to us. And better yet, you know, if we get rifle grenades, which we should definitely have by now, we're fine. We're completely protected from that. And then we get our Crusader, and then he's in trouble, right? Because he's got to be careful of where he extends his Warble to, because the Crusader's the unit that's going to be able to chase it down. Right now, we're creating a longer mid game that is more advantageous to him.
We're losing a munitions point to enemy action.
I can't believe that I always get grenades. I don't know what I was thinking here.
Sometimes we forget.
Another question. So I've been kind of defending these 2 VP points on the right, and the whole time he's had a machine gun parked in that building guarding the 3rd VP on the left, right there.
Yep.
We're losing a victory
So
point.
I've been doing an okay job of defending where I am. Would you have ever made any sort of push or switch gears to try to flush that thing out and get that VP, or you content to kind of hold down the middle of the map and let him have that because he's wasting an MG there?
No, better to get him off the map completely, right? Especially, so when you're playing North Langres, especially, this is your opponent's natural fuel. This one right here. This is actually the contested fuel. I didn't understand that for a very long time when this map came out, because I thought this was supposed to be the contested fuel. Now South is just better on this map, but this is the one that you're fighting over most of the time. So, dude, just, smoke this, use your recon barrage, or better yet, use your mortar that you've got, and just get him out of here, because you want the fuel and you want the VP here, ideally. Because it's very hard for you to defend this, right? You've got this building, he's got these site blockers that you don't know necessarily what's going to emerge from here. You could end up running into mines. Like, it's much more difficult to defend this than this is. Okay, Warble's out.
Enemy ground forces have claimed us. The enemy, the boss held all victory points. Act now.
We forgot to take off focus vehicles here. I don't think I've seen you use this yet. Maybe once. I can't remember if you have. But dude, spam this. It's free. It's not a super long cooldown. It gives vision, and it makes targets easier to hit, which means your infantry is also benefiting from it, not just your Humber. So you should be spamming this when you see like groups of 2 or more units. Use this for sure.
We've lost the sector. We have 200 points remaining. Grenade packages are inbound, Commander.
Okay, I think we're focusing on the AT guns here, I'm assuming. Uh-oh. Okay. Nice, Canadians, we finally closed, that's good. Harassing the outside, that's good. Oh. Woo! There we go, there's the mark area. So this is why getting to tier 4 is so important for us, because what we're depending on is actually, in order to kill any of our opponent's vehicles, we actually need him to misplay, right?
Yeah.
Because he has to stick around after taking hits from the AT guns. With the Crusader, we can actually follow up on these. And that's what we need the opportunity to do, because we can't depend on the fact that our opponent's going to make a mistake in order for us to get the advantage back or get the kill.
Territory sector lost, Commander.
I think we're going to
this
recognize... Sorry, go ahead.
Game feels like just a series of mini throws. You know, like not killing the grenadier, not getting the machine gun flushed out, and opening the map up, getting his fuel, and then just, you know, not getting grenades, not teching. Also known as the entire game.
It's just small things, right? Most of them are small things, but they add up eventually, and they just give your opponent a lot more space and opportunities than they would otherwise have if we were making the most. There we go. We're using this now. That's good. Tier 4 is going up. Awesome. Nice grenade. There we go. Now we've got our incendiary, our pyrotechnics. That's good.
We've 100 points left. Batteries are primed to begin smoke operations. 75 points remaining for us.
That was a nice ride for me.
Operation live. Batteries primed.
And Flak was just killing me at this point.
Yeah. Very nice. There we go. I was waiting for this.
And especially for such kind of like a static game where I kind of held this area, not a lot of changing hands of points. The Muni attacking spirit.
Yep.
Or I'll resupply. Resupply seems so much
yeah.
better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I bet you also don't
Nice.
forget to tech nades when you buy that resupply.
Oh yeah, because you're like, man, I'm gonna start making use of these for. Dude, you can spam them. Like it's crazy. And it will affect any unit that you have near that decapture area. So you can have like 3 different sections, all benefiting from offensive resupply, and yeah.
Our victory point is being overrun.
Okay, so I think I know where this is going.
The enemy has our victory points now. Cutting it a bit fine here, but smoke operation on standby. Issue as needed.
Oh, we lost a Canadian. Yeah, man. That was your game. That was absolutely your game. I think if you had actually, if you had got your tier 4 around like the 13-minute mark when you could afford it, then you could have got transition to Crusaders, followed up on those volleys from the AT guns, and then started to clean up his infantry with them as well. And I really think offensive resupply is something you should try. You should experiment with, because the offensive power is just ridiculous. Like I'm actually, I have said, I know I said in my original Canadians video that attacking spirit is just like better, but the more I use offensive resupply, especially in team games, the more I'm like, because what I thought it was I thought you got to use one ability for free. I did not realize you could use any ability for the entire duration of the timer for free.
Yeah,
which is crazy. So
right, you're thinking like you get one free one, and then even if the timer's still going, you can't do it. But you actually get, if the cooldown is shorter than the resupply cooldown, then you're good.
Yeah, exactly. If you're playing against a team weapon heavy composition, I think offensive resupply is the way to go. For sure. If you're playing against a lot of line infantry, then attacking spirit might make more sense.
Makes sense.
Okay,
Makes
so anything we need to be on the lookout for in this one?
I'll just tell you that I'm pretty sure this is a really long game, so if there's any lulls or anything, we can speed through it. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm playing Wehrmacht. I think this was an earlier game, and I'm just thinking maintaining that cutoff there, not walking into MGs, and then the buildings that cover my cutoff. I love Brits because you can kind of send these engineers off to cap and be pretty sure you're going to beat whatever you come across if you play well.
Yeah.
So I tend to spread the map and do what I'm doing here initially.
Yeah, that's usually a pretty safe thing to do. Because if you run into any pioneers, you can rest assured you're gonna take them out.
A new infantry section is ready for... Our supply line's broken. We have
Yeah, good.
sectors isolated out there.
I was just gonna say, yeah, collapsing on the cutoff there is the good move. Why do we retreat our sapper?
I think I saw out of the corner of my eye that I was going to be running into two of these guys that were just set up, firing at him. I thought there's no way that I'm not just going to take a ton of damage and do none to him.
In the early game, especially when you're fighting against grenadiers, generally a better thing to do is just kind of hover them just behind your sections, because he doesn't want to engage your sections at long range because he'll lose like super hard. He wants to close the gap, and that is when you bring the sappers in. So you actually, like, if you're using them in this sort of situation in a bigger engagement where you're not alone, like obviously sapper runs into a pioneer here, you chase him down, right? But when you're recognizing that your sapper's kind of caught up in a bigger engagement with some line units, that's how you want to use them. You want to position them like a little bit defensively until your opponent tries to find an opportunity to close the gap on you, and then you bring them in to basically force them back away.
Okay. So in that, would you have moved that second section that was by the bale of hay or whatever it was into the sandbag area by the cutoff?
I was going to say that earlier because you're actually, he was in this building and you were taking damage because you're actually exposed on this angle, right? So bringing these two sections in here and then keeping the sapper like around this corner or back here is completely safe for you until he tries to close the gap, and then you can start to bring the sapper into support.
Enemy ground forces have claimed a sector. We've got enemy fire! Vickers MG ready.
Okay. Okay, there we go. I was like, what are we doing with the Vickers? That's fine.
Rifle section ready.
Good, you got your flamer out. That's great. This is great.
Shall be encouraged to persevere.
There is just kind of wasting his time.
There we go. Now we're actually in the cover.
We're losing a fuel point. The beggars are threatening a victory point. Attention! Victory point is in enemy hands. Get to cover, you fucks! We've lost a sector. Potato masher, move! Jerry's picking us apart.
Nice. Good use of the Vickers. Oh, you know what? I think if you stayed set up there, you finish this guy. For sure. Yeah, your section, you would have done a little bit more damage as he was running at you, and this guy would have finished him off. This is a good retreat. Actually might have got him anyways if you had pursued.
A group of ruffians have reported for orders. They say they're Canadian. Royal Engineers here. Supplies
This is a good move.
Back to HQ. Lines cut.
Although
We're losing a victory point.
I think he's still going to be connected this way, which is actually kind of silly. It's asymmetrical like that.
Wait,
He's still connected through your cutoff. See?
It goes like road.
It's right here. Yeah, which is kind of stupid actually. It should be even, but that's a map design. I'm actually gonna make a note of that really quick.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, it should not be like that.
It's not fair.
Okay. Yeah. And then I think just hold. Let's see. Yeah, just holding this. I mean, assuming this actually is a cutoff, is probably the better thing for you to do when you get spotted like that by a long-range unit. It's really hard to push into them. There we go. Nice grenade. Missing out on the incendiary bonuses though. I would just get into the habit of like 1 CP, pick one of these two. 2 CP, go straight for this. I generally, I think, unless you're playing like team games, I think this might have. Actually, honestly, this might even be good for this map because you can continuously cut this off as long as you have control of the road.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's purely this is just a mistake. I'm not thinking like I'm gonna go for some other choice. It's just I forgot literally.
That wound's bad. Get it clean. What's raised? Location's ours. A fuel point is being overrun.
there you go.
Humber armored car fueled up. Humber armored car loaded and ready.
Oh. Yeah, just something to ask yourself when I've done this enough times now that I've generally stopped, but I still do sometimes. When you see an engineer that's in an outlier position, when you're bringing in your Humber, I think like just keeping your distance just in case. Because they may like if it's a neutral point or your point, then generally you could push in because you'll see him plant the mine. Some players are extra cheeky where they'll actually plant the mine before they go to capture the point. I do that a lot. But yeah, thankfully he doesn't have any follow up here, but it does kill a little bit of the tempo that we would otherwise get.
Yeah.
Losing a victory point to enemy action.
The Humber.
What do you think of the changes they made where you can't cap and mine at the same time? Totally.
I understand why. You have to be more thoughtful about construction, and if they left it in with the current build times for fortifications, it would be really OP. But I don't know, I still have mixed feelings about it. I think I like it. I think I like it more than I dislike it.
Mm-hmm. I would say the same, yeah.
The enemy has claimed a sector.
Okay.
We have a surplus of command points, Commander.
Nice. So
Victory point is being overrun.
I don't know. Maybe you don't know for sure, but he's got 5 infantry units, right? Especially on a map like this, that's very hard to maneuver and get a lot done with our vehicles because it's so congested in some areas. Training is a great idea. Infantry training, especially also because it's going to give your Canadians the boost they need, because where they really get good is Vet 2 because they get this insane 20% damage reduction on an already very beefy unit because 6 man, 105 health each, so they just become really super tanky, and the training will help them get there faster, so you'll get a lot more out of your Canadians. So just something to think about, especially on a congested map like this. Infantry training is not a bad idea when your fuel control's been pretty close to even, I think. You're a little bit down, but not a lot.
Initiating rollout of battlefield commissions for the men.
Good retreat.
Sector overrun. The enemy has it. Training complete.
Oh, there you go. You got it. Perfect.
Beggars are threatening a victory point.
Next time, just interrupt me.
Wait, what?
You already got the training. Like right, you must have started getting it right after I said getting training is a good idea.
Victory point lost. The enemy has control. We're losing a victory point.
Is there a way for me to hear the sound from the game, or is that turned off?
It should be broadcasting sound. Hold on. Why would it not?
Input, output.
You should be. So I think like when you open the stream itself, there might be. Let me see. Where's the button for sound? I would think you could Share stream audio. Yeah, I have that checked off. Are you sure it's not just like muted on your side?
In the bottom right corner of my app, I see a there's a volume bar. I can definitely hear your voice. Totally fine.
Yeah, that would be a different output though, because that's just from Discord, right? Not from the stream.
Right, that's just from Discord.
Did you have sound
Stream
last
volume.
time?
Yeah, I think so. Automatically reduce. I don't know. It's fine. I'll just.
Grenades are being distributed to the men. Orders, jump to it, lads. Anti-tank weapon and crew on the field. We're losing a victory point to enemy.
You're like, you want to throw grenades, huh?
Victory point belongs to the enemy.
So with your sapper, when you're fighting units like this, in between bursts, you want to close the gap, so your SMGs do more damage. So I don't know if we've talked about this, but pyrotechnics gives a massive bonus to your flamer engineers, especially because it reduces the accuracy of their target unit by 20%, which means they're going to have a much harder time hitting you, which gives you the opening to start closing the gap in between your shots. It's also a really nice way to like neutralize some high threat units like a Panzer Grenadier, because you can just totally nerf their accuracy with the flamer bonus.
What do you want? We're on, lads. Done. Now what?
I think honestly a second Canadian here would have been better for you than the machine gun. You've already got the one. And the Canadian's gonna scale a little bit better into the late game than the Vickers is, because you can always get like double P it to deal with his armor.
The beggars are threatening a victory point.
Nice grenade. He's not gonna win that.
Victory point under enemy control.
So with his army composition, what's like the best counter for the Panzer Grenadiers?
Humber they can't do anything to the Humber.
Humber. So I think that was my rationale for getting machine guns, but Humber just back and forth to whenever we see Panzer Grenadiers.
Yeah, just get in his face, because I mean he can throw a bundle grenade at you and that'll deal a lot of damage, but he has no AT, so you could get in his face and deal a lot of damage to him. Looks like he's protecting it well with the pack, so we just gotta watch out for that.
Victory point is being contested.
But yeah, the Vickers is okay, but it's a little bit dicey because if he gets the bundle grenade off, he's pretty much gonna wipe your MG. And then, you know, we're potentially losing it, which would be a huge pain.
Yeah.
You have to be
I don't know what I was thinking there. I knew that pack was there.
Okay, so when you see the PG use this ability, you have a couple options. What I would suggest is give it like, I would step out of combat with it for a couple seconds because he can't chase you when he's got this ability on. And then if he's sticking around, you can come back and throw a grenade at him. He won't be able to dodge it, right? The slow debuff will be too intense by that, and he'll either have to retreat or just tank the nade, which will allow you to win the engagement. That, or you can just walk away and avoid him altogether while this ability is going off, because his damage is gonna ramp up pretty dramatically with this ability on.
You have command points available.
And the debuff is included in this little timer there, right? Like,
yeah. So so you can see here, reduces speed to from 35 to 70%. It lasts 20 seconds, and it increases his rate of fire and burst length. So as his damage goes up, his movement speed or mobility goes down. Actually, are we gonna lose this? No, we're okay. Hopefully. Ooh.
Rules, fucking kill 'em. Sector lost. We're losing a victory point to enemy action. Victory point lost. The enemy has control.
Good move.
Territory lost.
Yeah, so what did we see here?
Two packs or something and an MG.
Yeah, which means we can probably do what?
Die or get up in his face.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
and pop that ability and get up in his face. Yeah.
You had a good chance to kill the PG here when you spot. I understand the hesitation because you don't know where the packs are, but as soon as you see the packs, now you're in a position to start to press. What the fuck is this guy doing? Building double Ketten. What a weird decision. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's weird. He didn't have a Ketten at the beginning, did he? No, he
What's
didn't.
that? No, he
even
didn't
have a
start
Ketten
with a
at the beginning.
Ketten. He did 4 Grens.
Territory sector lost. A victory point is being overrun. Victory point.
This guy had
in enemy
a way
hands.
higher ELO than me, so I assume he knows what he's doing.
Munitions point.
I wouldn't assume that. There's a wow, big value from the Kettens there. Crazy. Okay, what am I gonna? Oh, there we go. Now we're putting it up. When you start a game with UKF, you know what would help you, I think? If you just like set a timer for 15 minutes on your phone. And then if the timer goes off and you haven't built tier 4 yet, you should try and build tier 4. That was a great Recce Barrage. This is good damn. Oh, he might actually. Oh, okay.
We have command points available for use.
That's pretty dicey for him.
He didn't drop a model there. Those last two.
Yeah. I don't think it was hitting him directly. It was a little bit off. There we go. Yeah, see how useless this is when you hit it with the flamer?
Yeah.
He's got the P4 out though now. Nice. Responding with the AT gun. Okay.
The Bosch are losing ground. We're losing a victory point to enemy action.
Good refit. That's not a bad place to park that, but
Enemy action.
definitely could put it in a more defensive position. Okay.
An HMG crew has been lost to enemy action. A victory point is being overrun.
Good. Crusaders, nice. Looking for the outlier unit. I like that.
The
Retreat,
beggars are
good.
threatening a victory point. Victory point.
See, the other nice thing about going double Crusader on this map is handheld AT is a lot better because of all these buildings in the middle. It allows you to get into these positions and kind of weave in and out of the buildings and use your AT a lot better because it's hard to use the 6-pounder around this area, right? You really can only fire like through this gap here in the middle. So using the Piats is a nice way to help you manage the middle of the map. This guy got stuck, I guess.
Commander, you have CPs. A-15 Crusader is on
Nice.
station.
Triple
ready for
Crusader,
orders.
okay. She used a flare, but remember, I think like when you're using flares, you're looking for 2 things. Number 1, you're setting up. So saving a flare for like when you get your Triple Crusader out and you're ready to attack a target, I think is a good idea. Save your flare for that.
Yeah.
Or if you're like, I'd say that's like the main thing in this case. If you're playing against stealth guy, like you want to try to keep an eye on him as often as you can, in which case you probably have more recce's. But since you only have the one, just trying to make sure that you're using it in preparation for something rather than like, you couldn't really capitalize on it because you had no units down here, right? Uh-oh.
What was shooting me there? Was it just that tank?
Pack in the P4.
Oh, the pack. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're losing a victory point to
There we
enemy
go.
action.
Go to the outside.
The enemy has our victory points now. We're losing a capture point to enemy action.
Nice. Oh no, the rear exposure.
Knocked out. We have 300 points remaining.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job with those packs. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's what did most of the damage there.
Yeah.
Moving them up, because that's an aggressive position for
Yeah.
the packs to be able to get that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was very active with
Are on
these
standby for orders.
in the middle.
We are losing territory. We're losing a victory point. Steady by!
Rifle rounds? Come on then.
A victory point is being overrun. Victory point belongs to the enemy. Batteries, supplies aren't making it back to HQ. Lines cut. Crusader gas and good to go.
Oh, we found Terry!
Command points available.
Are you using attack ground?
A victory point.
Yeah, I was trying to blow up that building.
You know you can use
Yeah.
the attack command, right? Like the attack move.
Really?
Yeah. Because that'll actually
Okay.
that so I mean same way you kill team weapons, right? Like decrewed team weapons.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can do it on buildings too, because that would actually have prevented you from hitting the wall here. Because what happened was your attack ground, it was hitting the wall. You might have been able to take out that Stoss, because I don't know if he would have responded quick enough. But yeah, you can attack buildings in the same way that you can like decrewed team weapons or vehicles.
Lost. The enemy has control.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna make it easier
I
to
don't know
tear
why I always
down
thought
those buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to know.
Smoke operation on standby. Issue as needed.
Oh, we get out of there. Yeah.
We're losing a victory point. Victory
Oh boy,
point is in
now we're in
enemy
trouble.
hands.
Are we saving for Croc? Is that what's going on here?
A munitions point is being overrun. We're down.
For the fuel, you mean?
Yeah.
Sector overrun. The enemy.
I
Not
wish I
sure?
could tell you. I don't, yeah, I'm not sure.
That's alright. Oh, almost.
I thought this was like potentially a winnable game. Maybe I was kind of surprised.
Yeah,
but-
absolutely.
Victory point under enemy control. The Bosch hold all victory points. Act
Oh, is he
now.
gonna take it? Yeah! Love that.
Commander, you have CPs available.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, we can't do this when we know the Tiger's on the field. I would just
I don't know
refit
if I.
this. What's that?
Yeah, I don't know if I did know that yet. Did I see it yet?
Yeah,
But
because you shot
yeah,
at him.
I know that that's not even a good tank against any tank almost.
Yeah, no, it's a
Um,
infantry support tank. So good for like spearheading the middle, but that's about it. But once
mhm,
the Tiger comes out, it becomes kind of dangerous to do that because the Tiger does so much damage, right?
mhm.
Uh, but it is like a good protection for your 6-pounders. So not a bad choice in general. It's just if you're gonna build this, I would build it earlier.
Mhm.
It's too late to be building this now. You need something that's gonna be able to go and take out the Tiger, and the Matilda's not gonna help you with that at all.
Yeah.
Boys are finished.
I also think something worth so I generally like demolition engineering because you can upgrade your existing sappers into these guys. And the damage resistance, especially this one at Vet3, I would actually bet you that this could probably fight one-on-one pretty much any of his infantry units, because with the demolition engineering damage resistance, they get really beefy, and then the pyrotechnics bonus makes them like really, really, really strong 1v1.
Mhm.
But yeah, generally I
To get
favor
any
these in the late
to get
game.
any benefit from those the demolition engineers, you do have to upgrade it, not just
Yeah, you have to pay. So it
game
comes
plan.
with a
Yeah.
flamethrower by default, but if you already have a flamethrower, it'll give you the sweeper, and your squads get both. Oh, now we're cooked.
Buckle up, gents. We're down to 100 points. Lord, one of our heavy tanks is destroyed.
Yeah. Just
Man, that Canadian section took like no damage.
Heavy machine gun crew killed.
Okay, dude, this game was very competitive.
Actual tanks with flame.
I think the Crusaders.
Roust the enemy.
We fumbled with the Crusaders a little bit.
We've 25 points left.
Yeah, I think like so playing to the outside of the map with your Crusaders and being more aggressive with them to try to pick off those individual units, knowing that he's gone for double pack, like he's gonna want to play towards the center of the map most of the time, right?
yeah.
And once you spot him out, like that's a perfect example of when you want to use your recce sections. Is like spotting out those AT guns. Then once you've spotted them out, you can go and get super active on the other side of the map. Where in the early, like not the early, but like the early late game, he only had the 1P4 and you had triple Crusader, right? Rather than getting caught up here in the middle and congested, that's actually what happened to you, right? You lost your Crusaders here in the middle. One of them got caught here by the pack and the P4 combo. If you're playing to the outsides of the map and just picking off his infantry units one by one, he'd have to eventually commit his anti-tank guns to one side, right? Once
Yeah.
you've identified that he's done that, then you can just rotate to the other side because you're faster than he is. And just keep playing that way to try to like, by picking off those infantry units, you're going to create more space for yours. And that's going to allow you to eventually find a good opportunity to pick off this P4 and then eventually the Tiger as well. Because you can also, as you're doing that throughout the game, you're setting up for an eventual smoke operation push on his AT guns and his tanks, right? And you can go for the killing blow using this because it's very difficult for him to micro both his AT guns and his Tiger if they're getting hit with smoke at the same time, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, this game was very like you were 100% in this game. I think with the Humber, you probably could have been a little bit more aggressive as well, especially against these PGs. But I understand that a little bit of the hesitation due to not knowing where the packs are necessarily. And then over the second machine gun that you built, I think a second Canadian, just on this map especially because there's so much CQC. There's a lot of like sight blockers, shot blockers. It makes it harder to use a machine gun, especially very effectively against a PG. And the Canadian's going to scale better too into the late game because you have the handheld AT combined with just like a much better scaling infantry unit with the damage resistance and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first time I looked at that damage reduction.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
That's like their big power spike is at vet 2. But yeah, man, you were totally in this game. But the Crusader losses kind of put us a little bit behind, and then obviously we got kind of desperate because the VP's ticking down at the end. But yeah, you were 100% in this, and I do think again this might have been another example of a game where you might have actually done better with offensive resupply between your bundle grenades from your Canadians and your rifle grenades and stuff from your sections. Yeah, and then also
totally.
like especially on a map like this, dude, demolition engineers. Very, very nice because you can basically take control of the whole middle between the flamethrowers and the damage resistance they get, and all the incendiary stuff is very advantageous for you.
Yeah, I got to give this offensive resupply a try because I always find that I don't have enough munis for smoke drops, and then
We have a long fight ahead.
that would have been a perfect answer to all the packs.
Yeah.
Doing that more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are good games, man. I think if you can work on like the getting your tempo to your tier 4 will probably make the most difference, honestly. Just prioritizing getting to tier 4 sooner, refitting that Humber into early Crusaders and just starting that train, you'll find that you're able to get much more aggressive because your opponent's just not going to have as much to deal with it. And obviously, you know, all of the Crusaders combined with like the free firepower that you're getting from offensive resupply, like the artillery barrages, the grenades, all that stuff, like your opponent's going to have a really hard time playing team weapons into that, especially in including machine guns and packs. The Crusaders will create the space and be able to secure the wipes for you to get those wins earlier. Yeah.
So one question I had is for the Crusaders. So let's say I have 3 of them, and he has the composition that he had. So a couple packs, 1 tank, and a bunch of infantry. That's pretty strong. Would you upgrade any of those Crusaders to the Crusader 3?
Based on the composition he had, yeah, absolutely. Because you want to kill his tanks, right? I don't think we talked about this before, but like if you completely level the playing field, like if you wipe all the vehicles off the map, generally UKF is in a better position because your infantry is just better, right? So if you trade out all your Crusaders for his tanks, that's a huge win for you, especially because of the value difference, right? You think about like Tiger's 180, P4 is 100, that's 280 fuel, 3 Crusaders is 210, right? And then you're also able to get back on the map and rebuild your tanks faster than he is because they're cheaper. So trading vehicles is always going to work in your favor, at least with the Crusader in its current state. So yeah, I think getting the upgun, especially when he gets the Tiger, and then looking for an opportunity to go all in. But by the way, especially like getting armor training on top of that is even better because it's currently bugged, so that if you get the Crusader 3, you actually get training twice, and it'll give you instant access to Vet 1, which gives you the rate of fire, the speed, and all that stuff that makes for a good dive with the Crusaders.
Oh, like upgunning you gives you some experience points or something?
Yeah,
itself?
because you get it when you build the tank, and then you get it again when you upgrade it. So it's broken. It's a bug, but yeah, you get the experience from both, and it'll give you Vet 1 if you're Crusader 3 automatically.
Got it. That's good to know. So you would upgrade all 3 of them if you had the munis.
Yeah.
When you're facing that, yeah.
Yeah, because you want to be able to consistently punch through the Tiger, right, and the P4 both. And the only way that you're going to be increase your chances of doing that is getting the upgun, because the two pounder is going to have a really hard time getting through even the side armor of the Tiger.
Yeah.
So you need the upgun.
Got it. Yeah. No, I mean, I gotta set that timer for tier 4.
Yeah. I actually that made a world of difference, man. It really is. Like when you're playing UKF, the way that you need to think about it is your early game is very strong, but then from your Humber, you're trying to minimize the time it takes you to get to tier 4, because that is your weakest window, is in that period where you're going from your Humber timing to your tier 4. And that's when the, whether you're playing against DAC and they're playing heavy like tier 2 or with the flak drilling or whatever, or against Wehrmacht like with the tier 2.5, they want to take the most advantage during that time to try to regain the initiative from you, because generally you'll have a better early game. And the faster you get to tier 4, the smaller window you give your opponent to do that. Any other questions?
No, I really appreciate it.
Cool, man.
That's a huge help.
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, it's always a pleasure. You're one of the higher ELO players I get to talk to, so I enjoy watching your games. And I think like mechanically, dude, you're very solid. I think it's a little bit of looking for those bigger opportunities. Like your individual mechanical stuff is very good. Like you understand all the unit interactions, you know what to do. Like you kind of understand like the rock paper scissors systems in the game very well, clearly. I think it's just like that bigger perspective on how to make those bigger plays, like we talked about in your last game, where we're trying to find the opportunity to take out the 221 and the flak 30. And then you combine that with your timing on things. Generally, your compositions are pretty good. But I think your timing, especially as you're getting to tier 4 with UK, could be a lot better, and that will help you a lot. I think you'll win a lot more games. Both those games, dude, you easily could have closed those out if you had got to tier 4 sooner.
Great. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give all those things a try, and I'll let you know.
Cool, man. Yeah.